Okay, how do I start this? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a very different video, as you can tell, or maybe you can, but I'm actually wearing pyjamas and it is literally just before bedtime. Well, I say that, it's like, yeah, it's 20 to 10 at night, so usually I try and make the most of like the natural light and stuff, and I was gonna do that today. But to be honest, I'm really struggling with jet lag from going to Disney Florida, so I wasn't able to actually get up early this morning to film before Fabian went to work. So instead I've tried to work with like the lighting and stuff, and hopefully this video, like quality wise, will be okay. But basically I've done a few videos recently where I kind of explained that I was going to be talking about baby loss, and it may seem a bit odd that with the video I'm starting with, because I want to kind of talk today about approaching my daughter's second birthday that we lost. Also, I'll just say now, the camera is on the bed and I'm sat on the bed, so if there is any shakiness, that is because I'm moving, but I'm trying really hard to be super still. Yeah, it seems kind of silly to be doing a video about leading up to our daughter's second birthday when I've never really done a video kind of explaining her life, why she passed away, how old she was, or any of her kind of background story. Now, I know that's going to be very confusing. I will give you a bit of a brief overview now, although I do plan on doing a video in the future that will explain a lot more detail of her story. But basically, I was expecting my second child, so I already had one, and it was just a few days before his first birthday, and I found out we were expecting our second child, and everything was fine. I was just very sick in this pregnancy. But then at the 20-week scan, so I'd already had 2 healthy scans, I think, 2 or 3, and then at the 20-week scan, all of a sudden the fluid was gone. We had a very small baby, a very sick baby. And fast forward to 32 weeks after being told basically that our baby wasn't going to live at all. We even had to change hospital because we had a doctor at one hospital that just wanted us to terminate, and he just didn't even want to try. He was so adamant that she was going to die. And it was difficult because he couldn't give us a diagnosis either, so he couldn't give us a reason. He couldn't say, well, it's because she has this, and you know, it was something that was so rare and hadn't been heard of before that it was very difficult for us to make a decision. Anyway, I don't want to get into that today, but yeah, we got to 32 plus 6, and then we had reduced movement. We were aiming for 34 weeks, but we knew at this point that she was better out than in. So I had an emergency C-section because it was the only way she would be born alive, and like I say, more on that in a different video. It was touch and go in the theatre whether she would live at all, and that was a really big thing, to have a surgery, knowing that this child might not live and that it would affect future pregnancies, that I would have a scar on my womb, which it definitely did affect, because let's just say things did not go to plan with my scar in my next pregnancy. But luckily she did make it out of theatre and into the neonatal intensive care unit. Yeah, so we had these amazing 16 days with her. We had moments where we thought she was doing amazing and that she was invincible, and then there were days when the consultant would take us into a room at the side and say, oh, you know, I'm really not sure how long she's gonna make it and stuff. But it got to the point she was progressing so well and she was such a show off, and yeah. I knew I was gonna cry filming this video. Hard to believe that tomorrow will be 2 years since I was in surgery. Like, right now is 2 years from me and Fabian. We celebrated Valentine's Day early because we thought, you know, we were going away for the night because she was at Newcastle. We were under Newcastle, but we lived 2 hours away. So the next day we had an appointment for 8 in the morning, so we stayed over the night before, and we decided we would celebrate Valentine's Day early because we knew that we had childcare, and we were already going to be in a city and stuff. So we went to see the, I don't know which one it was, the 50 Shades of Grey film at the cinema, and I don't think this place is there now or it's changed, but it was a vegan like restaurant in Newcastle. It was a really nice place. I think it was Bohemian it was called, and now it's like still a vegan place, but it's like fast food instead of like fine dining style. And like it was just a really nice night, and like Fabian had put rose petals on the bed and stuff at the hotel, and I always say that the reason I like guacamole, which I know is like the weirdest thing, but it's a thing that I associate with silver, is that at the restaurant that night was one of the first times I'd had guacamole on nachos, because it came like, it was already included in that, like in the nachos that we shared, and it was the first time I'd tried them. And so one thing that we sometimes do on a night when we have supper and we have like a couple's night is we have nachos, and now I always have guacamole and it always makes me think of her. And that, I know that's a silly thing, but it's just a way that we incorporate her into our life, and it's a chance that it's something, the more things I can associate with her, the better I feel that I'm including her in my life. But yeah, it's just crazy to think that where we were 2 years ago, and now I've got a 3.5-year-old that I can never get to sleep on a night, that has actually gone to sleep tonight, and I've got a just over 1-year-old rainbow baby downstairs that is adamant she does not want to sleep. I don't really know what I was kind of planning to say with this video. I wanted to kind of, I guess, talk about my emotions and how I felt approaching this like 2 years. And to be honest, I think as well, one thing that I've struggled with recently, because I've been struggling with my own body image a lot, is about 3 weeks ago I came off Instagram and Facebook and just had a complete social media detox, which was nice while we were on holiday and stuff. But I've kind of then isolated and shut myself off from so many people, and I've only really got like, is this focused or is it just my eyes are blurry? I'm not wearing my glasses and to me it just looks blurry, but I think it's just my eyesight. I hope so. Yeah, I've kind of cut off so many people that could have supported me as we approached this time. I keep thinking that I'm really like managing well with my grief and that I'm coping, because I can go weeks without like getting really upset, and I can kind of get on with my day-to-day life, and like things don't seem to trigger me as badly. And then recently it's like the grief has just hit me like I've hit a brick wall. And especially I had an incident on our plane recently on the way home, and it was nothing to do with Silver, but the day leading up to it had been revolving around her. We'd been very stressed rushing to get to Magic Kingdom in Disney in Florida to get a picture of her photo in front of the castle. So that was stressful, and obviously that was very emotional for me, because I got my first cuddle with Silver when she was 15 days old. I had been praying and begging and desperate, but she was always too unstable, and a lot of the time she had chest drains in because there was, I don't know if it was air leaking or fluid or something, but it would have just been too painful. And the day that I had that first cuddle, I promised her and I said, you know, we're gonna go to Disney together, because we had already been talking about planning a Disney trip. And so that day was a big deal for me to finally keep that promise, even though it shouldn't have been like that. She should have been in one of the prams and not in a photo frame. So I was already emotional that day, and then I had a air stewardess be very rude to me on the plane on the way home on such a special holiday. And wow, my grief really hit me hard. It started off, I was upset and angry with this woman, and then I realised it kind of wasn't that, and I don't think I even expected that grief to come like that. But I sat for over an hour crying my eyes out, staring at the map rotating on the screen of all the different maps that they have, like a crazy person. I mean, I have mental health issues and stuff, but I just was consumed and broken, completely broken. I'm trying really hard not to cry because Fabian is downstairs and I don't want him to hear me, and then it's like an awkward conversation. I know it's really important to talk and stuff, I don't want to make a big deal out of it because I don't know, it seems silly to not want to talk about it because I've just said how isolated I feel. I was really upset realising, I don't know if it was last night or the night before, and I realised I hadn't bought her any presents. And obviously different people like mark these occasions in different ways, but for me I wanted to buy her something that we would obviously unwrap, and I just stupidly forgot there was something I was going to buy for her garden, where I have a little area sectioned off that's just for her flowers, and I forgot to buy it on holiday, and it just upset me. And I just feel like a bit of a failure because last year her cake she had her cake like about a week late, and I always seem to do this with all my kids' birthdays. I'm really the most disorganised person, and then I am, especially because of like social media and you see how perfect everyone else is, like you just feel so like it makes me hard on myself. And especially a big part of my borderline personality disorder is that a core thought of mine is that I'm a failure and that I'm not good enough. So obviously, especially with her, it just breaks my heart to think that I'm letting her down. But I'm kind of coping not too bad, I guess, because I have actually baked a cake. I've been pretty organised today. I haven't obviously bought her a present. I don't know what we're going to do about birthday cards, so maybe have to go pick one tomorrow when we go out for the day. But yeah, I've got a cake, I'm organised, I have icing, I've got some sugar paste stuff that I'm going to make some like roses with it, and I'm gonna spray them silver, so there will be silver roses on top of her cake. I was very smart and I really thought about what was the best thing to do for me to cope. I recognised earlier in the week that I'm not gonna cope tomorrow, because the options I had was we do a half and half day where my husband goes to work for half the day, then the second half of the day we're rushing to try and do something nice for Silver's birthday, or we do nothing for her birthday and we wait until the weekend. But that means I'm probably going to be left at home with 2 kids trying to cope on my own, and just because I don't leave the house on my own either, it just means I'm in a very confined space trying to cope with 2 young children, grieving. It just, I honestly don't think that would have been a very good thing for my own mental health. I don't think I would have coped very well. Or the other option was that we go out and we cancel all our jobs and we just take one day off work and really have the day for her. No way was I going to do a half and half day, because the amount of times we've done that and then we're stressed, we're rushing, and as we learnt from the day when we were rushing to Magic Kingdom to rush to the airport and stuff, it doesn't work very well and I don't cope very well. So we've made the decision to take the whole day off tomorrow, which I feel really good about. I feel like I'm not sure how I'm gonna cope, because every time I think I'm coping a certain way, I seem to then have random moments where I break down, or there'll be times when I'm really struggling and then I find an inner strength. So I don't know how I'm gonna do tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to having a day that is focused on her, that is all about her, and that we've taken the time away from work to focus on something that is really important, because at the end of the day we only have one day a year that is for her. And I'd rather celebrate her birthday and know that we celebrated her life, because in 16 days time then we're going to be contemplating the day that we got the phone call, the day that we made decisions that were just heartbreaking, and I need something positive to really associate with her instead of just thinking of the loss. I'm not gonna lie though, one thing that I'm kind of already upset about, but at the same time I know I'm really, like I say, I'm really disorganized, so I kind of can understand, is I'm worried that I'm gonna get to tomorrow and no one else is gonna have remembered it's her birthday. Everybody, I think people remembered her first birthday. They maybe didn't buy her birthday cards or anything, which is a shame, because I know I've seen other lost parents where a lot of family members, friends and stuff, they do buy cards and stuff. I'm not expecting cards at all. You know, I haven't even bought one myself, so I can't really expect other people to do that. And I know myself that I have friends that have lost children, and I get muddled and I don't remember dates, and I'm not the sort of organised person that writes it down. I would be mortified if I didn't acknowledge their child, but I can be understanding and reasonable that I'm just not an organised person, and so there is part of me that would understand that if nobody says anything tomorrow, but at the same time I don't know how anyone's meant to cope with what we've been through. I know that's a bit of a change of topic, but either way it's just gonna be hard, and we just need to find a way to get through it as a family, because unfortunately there will be people that have forgotten and it breaks my heart, but I can understand, I guess. It just feels like she's slipping away. Like, I don't often get a chance to actually just sit and think about her. Sometimes I don't want to think about her because it just hurts. Celebrating a baby's birthday that you have lost is just the most confusing thing to do, because naturally you don't want to be celebrating. And I think I'm lucky as well in a way that it isn't a stillbirth, because God, that would just be so confusing. Like, at least I can differentiate and say, well, that was a really happy day and that was a really sad day. Like, to know that you've met your child and the same day you've had to say goodbye must be just the worst. I can't think of anything worse than that, and I'm so lucky that I got to get to know Silver. And I have to just remind myself that I got 16 days, well actually it was 15 and a bit, because the 16th day was not a good day. We got plenty of cuddles, but I would have sacrificed them if I thought that it was gonna save her. I guess doing this video I just wanted to give some sort of insight for other people to see how, you know, you can be 2 years down the line and it will still hit you like you wouldn't believe. Like, that grief does not go away because that memory is still there, and it might fade and you might cope differently in different years depending on what your life is like at that time and stuff. But for me, I've been coping really well, and then it's just hard when reality hits home, and it can hit people like a freight train. So if you know someone and they are coming up to an anniversary to do with the loss of their child or the loss of anybody that was important to them, I think, especially from my own experience, reaching out to them really helps. I've found talking to a camera has helped me tonight a little bit, because like I say, I haven't had anyone really to talk to. And obviously I'm going to go and talk to Fabian now, and I'm going to go finish making her cake. I'm going to try and put the way I'm feeling into something that I hope would make her proud, something that makes me feel good, helps me cope with my grief in a constructive way, I guess, instead of destructive, which is a bit how it was on the airplane. So I hope this video has been insightful to you, showing you a bit more about grief and child loss. I shared a bit of my story, Silver's story. Obviously I am going to do a video soon that will explain a lot more detail about her story, and I really hope you will subscribe and wait and see that video. I feel like sharing her story keeps a part of her alive, even if it is just her memory, so it's really important for me personally. So I would love to share that story with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon.